Hello and welcome back to C&S Corvettes in Sarasota, Florida. My name is Lyle and I'm going to be teaching you how to install one of our new products for your car, 1997 to 04 Corvette automatic transmission shifter indicator. Now, if by that description it doesn't get you, it's the little orange thing that moves up and down when your gear shift moves up and down. As you may have noticed on your car though, after time, it doesn't move anymore because it breaks. So we're going to show you how to replace it and actually improve your car while you're doing it. First, let me go through the tools you're going to need to do the job. Okay, what I've laid out here in front of you is a representation of the center console in your Corvette. We can't fit big old me, the cameraman, and everything else in a car to film this, so this is the easiest way to do it, and it's really not difficult. Just follow me along. Center console of your car. If you have a convertible, your waterfall is back here, okay? That's the colored thing between the seats with the emblem on it. There's 4 T15 Torx screws. You just take those out, pull that aside. The tools you're going to need 10mm socket, a T15 Torx bit, and a small flat screwdriver or pick. That's really all you're going to need. All right, convertible owners, once you have the waterfall removed, you're now back to where the coupe people start. So what we need to do to access the shifter, which lives in this hole, is we have to first remove these panels without damaging them. Easiest way to do that is as follows. Step 1, open your console door. Once your console door is open, take your fingers, put them under here, under this little plate, and pull up. You'll notice that there's a plug in the back of this. Unplug it and set it aside. No screws hold this in place, it just snaps in. Set it aside. Once you've done that, there are 4 points of attachment that you have to attack with your 10mm ratchet. 2 of them are under little plastic covers at the rear of your console area. So, taking your small screwdriver, go ahead and just pop those little covers off. Then using your 10mm ratchet, go ahead and pull those nuts out. Once that's done, you look down in the well that you just uncovered by removing that panel with the active handling button on it. Take your ratchet. There's 2 more 10mm nuts down there. Remove those. At this time, it's also a good idea to unplug the 12-volt plug from the charging port that's immediately right here. Once that's done, you can go ahead and move forward in the assembly. Now, GM got really tricky about installing some screws to hold this unit in place. This one-piece bezel is really expensive, so we don't want to break it installing it or taking it out. Here's exactly what you need to do. First things first, take your small screwdriver, and right here there's a little square vent. That's actually your interior climate monitor. We're going to just pry that little screen off, set it aside, and you'll notice at the top of it is a T15 Torx head. Go ahead and remove that and set it aside. Moving over here, there are actually 2 retainers. One directly next to the 12-volt charger, just at the left of the 12-volt charger, under the little door here, and you have to remove your ashtray if you still have yours installed, and directly behind the ashtray is another T15 Torx screw. So you have 1, 2, 3 T15 Torx screws. Once those are all removed, you're ready to start taking the panels out of the car and accessing your shifter. Now, there are tabs and guide pins on the back of this bezel. So you want to be very ginger about taking these things out. So this, once you have it uncoupled from the front of the car, you're going to just kind of lift it a little bit, which will allow you to slide this console out. You'll notice these aren't holes, they're slots. That's because it's designed to slide out from under this bezel. Take this, set it aside. Now, your shifter you want to put into neutral, so slide it back to where it's straight up and down, and take this, lift and pull. Just like that, lift and pull. That way these pins and these guides don't get broken. $300 if you break it, so be careful. Now what you'll see is your shifter bolted into place in the metal tunnel between the 2 seats, okay? Before we even get started with this, I highly recommend that you do a safety check on your shifter cable. As you're probably aware, the transmission in your car is located at the rear, behind the bulkhead, behind the seats. This transmission cable is about 3 feet long, and it runs from this shifter all the way back to another switch on the actual transmission itself to tell the car what you want it to do. These cables have a historic problem of going bad. In particular, they go bad where they couple to this little ball joint. There's a similar ball joint on the transmission at the back. And let me show you that cable while we're at it. This is a shifter cable for a C5, 2 ends, okay? What goes bad most frequently on these are the little plastic inserts that snap over that ball joint, and they turn yellow and they get brittle and they rot. And one day you're going to walk out of the grocery store, get in your car, put your car in drive, and it's not going to go anywhere because this will have fallen off the shifter. Well, right now, in the middle of this process, you are precisely 4 10mm nuts away from being able to check that. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm nuts. Go ahead and remove those, then carefully lift your shifter upward, because if you yank your shifter up, the odds of you breaking that cable are very, very good. So when you lift it up, you're going to see this attached down here. What I want you to do is unattach it and check it. If it is yellowed or it looks brittle, you probably want to go ahead and replace at least the one directly under the shifter because you're there already. Now, our kit for this, it consists of 2 tiny pieces. What they are replacements for the inserts from the factory. Now, we've engineered these to where all you have to do is go in with your little screwdriver and dig out the bad stuff, the gross stuff, and then using your thumb, these just snap into place. And then you can put it right back on your shifter, put your shifter back down in, replace the 4 10mm nuts. The reason this comes with 2 is because obviously there's a similar joint at the back of the cable at the transmission. What I suggest you do is, if you don't have your car up in the air where your transmission is accessible, go ahead and put this in your toolbox, in your glove box, wherever you'll remember to find it next time your car is at the mechanic. And when they have it up on the lift, say, hey, while it's up there, go ahead and replace this. It'll cost you next to nothing, and it'll save you or your partner or your wife from getting stuck somewhere, which is never good. All right, back to the shift indicator. Now, so shifter is sitting in the center console of your car like this. First thing we need to do is remove the shift knob. And the way you do that is you take your small pick or your small screwdriver, and you'll notice that there's a staple. Now, I've got it pulled out a little bit so you can see it better. There's a small staple that locks this into place. So what you want to do is get in and pry that staple out, set it aside, and then all you have to do is lift the shifter knob off. It comes off as an assembly. Set it off over here. Okay? So now we have access to everything. Moving forward, you'll notice that the shifter boot has an elastic cord all the way around the bottom that binds it, and there's a bunch of little plastic teeth all the way around here that hold it in place. Using your pick or your small screwdriver, you want to get under it and just start pulling it up around those teeth so that you can get it out of your way. It doesn't take long and it's not difficult, but just as with anything, be careful when you do it because you don't want to tear something that's unrepairable. You'll see there's closed cell foam all the way around this. And once this is exposed, now we're ready to start going in to do the replacement of the pieces that we need to replace. You'll notice that this lens sits inside the leather. Okay, that's because the leather is basically tucked around this, and there's a housing that you can't see on this leather that goes around this lens. If possible, we want to try to remove that housing without breaking the glue around this lens. If it breaks, it's easy to tuck back in when we're done, and I'll show you how to do that when we're finished. But for right now, go ahead and look in here. You'll see we've got 2 little fingers right here holding this in place. Same thing at this end. So take your pick or your small screwdriver, get in here and just kind of pry those out and lift that up. Okay, there's one. Pry the fingers apart and lift. Okay, we managed to do it without breaking the seal, so that's great. And we're just going to pull this up and out of the way. Now you can see the entire assembly inside. This is where we're going to use the pick the most, because this is basically a stack of snapped together plastic frame pieces. First thing we're going to remove is we're going to remove the lens that's your indicator lens. And it's got 6 little bubbles that you can see. In fact, you probably don't even need your pick to get this off, just lift. Comes right off in your hand, set it aside. Now we've exposed the indicator itself and the light diffuser lens. From here, we have a retainer that goes around the front, right here. Its little fingers point down. There's one pointing down here, and there's one pointing down right here. Same thing as last time. Get in there with your pick, lift those up. It's kind of hard to do at this angle. Let me do my best for you here. When I get it loose, I'll pull it out so you can see it. Okay. So you have this plastic piece that slides out. It only goes on one side. You can see those 2 little fingers that are pointing down that you're going to remove. Now we're ready to start getting the lens out itself. There's a white plastic sleeve that holds the indicator. Most likely, your indicator isn't going to be complete like this. It's going to be loose and rattling around in there. So make sure to remove any debris that may be in there from your old indicator. Then you remove your lens. What you're probably going to notice about your original lens is that this little aperture, which goes over the light bulb that gives the light to show you what gear you're in at night, it tends to be melted and burned because it was originally designed too close to the bulb. So you'll notice on our reproductions, the aperture is larger to give it a little more breathing room so this doesn't melt. Set those both aside. Now we're ready to start putting things back together. All the kit consists of is the diffuser lens and the pointer. It's all you need to do the job. Now that we've got it this far apart, we're going to take the lens and we're going to put it back in. You'll notice right here and right here, there are 2 little guide fingers sticking up, tiny, tiny little things. And you'll notice the ends of the lens are forked. You make sure that the guide fingers go between those little forks. And they should just snap into place without any trouble. There we go. Lens is in place. Next thing, you're going to take your new pointer, put it in the receiver on that little sleeve, slide it down, and make sure that it is contacting the lens. Retainer, 2 fingers pointing downward. It slides in on a channel here and a channel here on either side of the lens. Once you get it started, push down evenly, it'll snap right into place. Okay, there we go. Push evenly, snap. Done. Indicator lens. Got the 6 little nubs on it that you can see here. Just match them up with the 6 little openings and press down. That is reinstalled. We're now ready to go ahead and put the shifter boot back into place. Now, right here is the plastic guide I was telling you about that is glued into place with the leather. So you can see there are 6 snaps, 8 snaps all the way around that. They go directly around this lens. So all you have to do is position this over this lens and press down around it, and it'll go right into place. Okay, done. Now, we take the elastic and spread it back around the shifter, around that closed cell foam. You can do this with your hands for most of it. Probably the last part, you may need to use your pick just to get it over that hump. Again, be careful not to tear it. Okay, shifter is now back together. We're going to put our shift knob back on, make sure it's facing the right direction, press down. Take your staple and put it in through those holes. Okay. You're going to press that back into place. Now, if it fights you and it doesn't want to go in all the way, odds are you don't have the knob down all the way. Make sure that it is fully seated. And you may have to use pliers or something, or even a hammer, just to tap that all the way in, because I can just barely get it in with my fingers, still leaving about 1/8 of an inch there. So I would probably, if I was in a car, just tap that a couple of times. Okay, shifter is done. If you didn't reaffix your shifter after having checked the shifter cable, make sure to put those 4 10mm nuts back in these holes so it's secure. Now we're ready to start building out again. So we put our shifter into neutral, or first, where it's facing backwards. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our bezel. Okay, again, bezel goes in and over like so. Okay, and you'll feel it snap into place because it has these 2 snap pins and 2 guides. It'll kind of snap into place and settle around that. When that's done, now we're going to do everything we just did in reverse. Okay, so we want to reaffix. We've got a T15 screw right here, T15 screw right here, T15 screw right there. Put those screws back in, put your little panel, your little vent panel right back here. If yours is cracked, broken, or missing, just give me a call. I'll be happy to send you one. They're inexpensive and they're readily available. Once that's reaffixed, you take your console and slide it into place. So down, under, and in. Okay? Open your console door. Oh, remember, before you put your console all back together, you have your 12 volt that you got to plug back in and your fuel door that you have to plug back in. If you don't do that, you're not going to be able to charge your phone and you're not going to be able to get gas, both of which are really, really bad. So 12 volt gas door, plug those in before this slides into place. Okay, now 10mm nuts here, 10mm nuts here, everything plugged back in. Take the panel you took out originally, make sure you plug it in, and just snap it into place, and close your console door, and you are now ready to drive. That's everything there is to it. Obviously, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me at 800-886-5064, or find me on CorvettePartsCenter.com. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. We'll see you again soon.